Hey, welcome back to the channel guys, John here, and we are talking about FSD Beta in Canada. You guys know all about it. It's been out for the past couple of days. There's even iterations of the build that has come out just to fix up some minor issues. But here's the kicker guys, FSD Beta isn't performing as nice as it does down in the States. Now of course there are a lot of reasons to this, which I'm going to explain a little bit in this video here, but just keep in mind that you probably won't experience the best build of FSD Beta compared to if you just went across the border. Down there it seems to be performing very well, and that's to be expected because it's been down there running on people's cars for roughly about a year before it finally arrived up north here. So that means that I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer. Hopefully Elon decides to push it out to 98, 97, and 96. I've only heard that 98 people are getting it as well right now. So there is a lot of hope there for some of you guys that do have 97 and below. Alright, so while I'm patiently waiting, I have seen videos online, especially in my hometown here in Vancouver. There are a lot of cases that mistakes were happening with FSD Beta. There were even videos of it going on the ferry. If you guys know about the BC ferries going over to the island, there was FSD Beta that was activated on the ferry itself, and it kind of worked. It didn't fail, but it also didn't do the best job ever. So definitely that's something to improve on. Now let's talk about Canada as a whole. For the past couple of days that FSD Beta has been out to those that scored 199, you will see that it has made a lot of mistakes just driving the normal routes that it usually does. Now what confuses me is that those routes that are having trouble up in Canada are working very well in the States. If you compare them side by side, you'll literally see that they are the same, but for some reason the code up here just isn't performing as it does down there. Now I'm going to go into the nitty-gritties of Canada and why FSD Beta likely won't work as well as it does down in the States. The first one has to do with the inhabitable area of Canada. There are so many places that you cannot live. It's all terrain. Even though the country is ginormous, you're gonna see that other than BC and Toronto, most of the places in between, literally in the mind of Canadians, don't even exist. So if you ask somebody from Vancouver and somebody from Toronto, what are the provinces in between, we won't really even know, and that's talking about some of the bigger cities. If we're talking about something way up north like the Yukon, none of it, something like that, definitely FSD Beta is not going to work up there. There's no proper roads, the terrain's just literally crazy. So you guys have the idea of why FSD Beta is still very much in beta mode with Canada. Now let's go on to the second one, and this is the unfavorable weather up here. You're gonna see that weather 9 months out of the year is either gonna be raining, snowing, or something along that side. You're gonna see a very less sunlight. I'm very lucky to be living in Vancouver, which doesn't snow quite often. It's mostly just rain and sun. So you're gonna see that a lot of other provinces and cities to the east, you guys are gonna see a lot more unfavorable weather than you do here. So you just have to be prepared for that. Alright, so on to the third reason why FSD Beta is probably not going to perform very well. There are a lot of examples out there in my previous videos, so if you guys haven't already checked that out, go down in my description. I'll probably drop a link right up top somewhere here too, so you guys can click on that. But that traffic light system. So when I talk about traffic light system, I'm just going to briefly go over that. In Calgary, it is horizontal instead of vertical for the red, green, and yellow light. FSD Beta is going to be a little bit confused, just like I would be when I first drove there. I didn't know if that sign was for myself, for a bus, for a bicycle, or anything like that. It doesn't have any clear signs, and then there'll be some vertical ones as well. Alright, so in the last couple videos I've watched, and Elon has confirmed this himself, FSD Beta has been deactivated or was never activated to begin with in downtown Toronto, and this is because of streetcars. Now you guys might not have it here in Vancouver if you live here or any of the other cities, but in Toronto you guys have streetcars, which are like buses that are connected to the ground, kind of like trains if you guys want to just call it trains. But on top of that, you do have real trains, and then you're gonna have bridges that just doesn't behave properly as it usually does. So all those factors have to be accounted for, and it seems like this is a good idea. It's geofenced right now to work only outside of downtown Toronto. So that's something you guys have to keep in mind, and if it does work in the end, there is going to be some limitations for sure. Alright, so I knew we were going to get to this topic, and that has to be Quebec. Now, Quebec is a really odd one. If you guys are from Quebec, I don't really have any words for it, but Quebec really wants to be away from Canada, even though it's located in Canada. They want to be completely separate, with separate rules, separate laws, separate traffic system, pretty much separate everything. Trust me guys, if you guys live in Canada, you'll know. Even the language barrier is ridiculous. I tried going to Quebec once and literally nobody speaks English for some reasons. First of all, it has to deal with the language barrier. It has to be able to recognize French instead of English. And then on top of that, the different traffic rules. An example would be right turn on red. Now, I know you guys have that down south as well, but if it's statewide dependent, pretty much every single light, you're not going to be able to be turning right on red. But here in Quebec, you will see that they do have rules for specific places of Quebec itself, and then in other areas you are allowed to turn right on red. So a little confusing there for sure, and FSD Beta just has to really know. The French on top of it is not going to really help. So in this case, I do think that FSD Beta is going to be relying on Google Maps or something of that sort to just remember that you cannot turn on this spot. So there you have it guys, FSD Beta for Canada hasn't been doing too well lately. I'm still waiting to get my hands on it, and I think I've heard that it's a lot better in Vancouver, a lot of no disengagement, so that's a really good sign. Now you guys probably heard all over Twitter that Europe is going to be getting FSD Beta sometime this summer. It's very unlikely to me, and if you guys want to know why, please check out the other video. I'll drop a link in the description, and that has to go over with all the traffic rules and laws that we're having trouble with in Canada here. And it's just going to be that much more difficult in Europe because there's so many different countries, so many different just laws, so many different traffic signs and languages that it all has to learn before it's able to go from one country to another. So anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please hit the subscribe button right up top there. This is John once again. Peace out.